Hello YouTube, this is Kuzil, and welcome to episode 19 of my KuzilCraft mod pack playthrough. I have a surprise for you today. I have updated my skin, and I look like me. I just need to put glasses on this guy, and I will be amazing. You can kind of see my beard through my Batman mask. I love it. Anyway, in today's episode, we're going to get into 4 times ore processing for Mekanism. We want to get up to 5 times, which is the max that Mekanism can do. That is the goal. And then we want to get into the awesome power production that Mekanism offers. That way we can get into other mods that require a lot of power. So, in today's episode, we're going to get started into that. First, I have a quick little clip to show you. The mystery of the lost items has been solved. Logan is off the hook. Alright, bud. Come here. Follow me. So make sure you don't have anything in your inventory. So, I don't know if you guys know the mechanism in Minecraft where if you have like a chest minecart crosses over top of a hopper, it will take the items from it. So when I look inside this chest here and this chest here, there's all my stuff. So every time Logan was going across these hoppers, he was dropping off one of my items in the chests. On the one hand, I'm super thankful that I found this stuff. On the other hand, I'm kind of sad that I can't use him as like a little storage inventory thing anymore. I mean, you could just be a companion. Yeah, I'll just have you run around with me. That'll work. Before we get too far in today's episode, I wanted to show you kind of what I've been doing around the place. I've completely rearranged this room, and this is my final rearrange. I'm not going to do any more. So all of my ore multiplication is going to be along this wall. So it starts with doubling here, tripling here, quadrupling, and finally quintupling here. So you'll see that this is a power conduit is in here. And then this is a regular laboratory block. So all the space behind here and over here is going to be dedicated to improving that process and sustaining that process. You know, it sounds like this may be like too much room, but I don't think it's going to be. I think we'll probably end up using this room up. So, and then I put all of my crafting stuff here for Mekanism. And let me grab some materials real quick just to show you how it works. So let's grab some coal. I don't know, just grab 2 or 3 of them, and then a bunch of iron. Yeah, let's grab 24 or so, and then let's grab some redstone. Oh, just 2, please. Some osmium. Grab 8 of those. And I'll grab a diamond, a single diamond. Okay. And then I'll show you the process after it's been working. So the right hopper here, so this is centered on this wall. This is the center of this to this. So that is what I'm calling center. It's probably not the center all the way over there, but from this bin to this bin, this is the middle. So on the right here, this hopper handles just the processing of steel. So this is where I want to put in my coal. So I can either hit Q twice or I can hit Control Q and it just dumps the whole thing. So then I want to do Q 16 times. So the hopper grabs it and takes it into this chest here, and then that chest there disperses it to whatever's in the room over there. And I painted these stairs. These are just like cobble stairs that I painted, so that they kind of look like this wall. It's kind of nice. And then everything from in this chest over here is this over here, all this processing. So let's just dump the rest of this in here. Okay, and we'll see that process. You can kind of hear it processing in the background. So let's go take a look. Oh, and I've put doors in everywhere. I painted these wooden pressure plates. Okay, so this is the steel processing. Our coal gets dumped into here and turned into our compressed coal, our compressed carbon. Iron ingots that are dumped in the left hopper, or I'm sorry, the right hopper, get put into this chest here. or this metallurgy confuser, and then everything gets processed down through the smelter, and then out through these conduits into, let me grab my Yeta wrench. So if I'm holding the Yeta wrench, it hides the conduit facades so that I can interact with the pipes and I can see them. So you'll notice that I did that there in the floor too. Just kind of make it look nice. So yeah, this is on its own complete separate circuit. The only thing that connects them is power. And then under here I have all of the redstone coming into this enrichment chamber getting compressed into compressed redstone. Iron that gets dropped in the left hopper goes into this metallurgy confuser and gets turned into our basic circuits there. Any osmium gets dumped into this metallurgy confuser for those. And then I've got the next tier one set up already. So all I wanted to do was enrich the diamonds. So you drop a diamond in here, it gets sent into this enrichment chamber, it gets turned into compressed diamond. And then in order to make the advanced alloys, you just take one of these and dump it in here, and it will turn into one of these, the advanced alloys. There's atomic alloys that I'll probably set up off camera, but I am wasting time because we have a lot to do today. So let's get started. I went ahead and crafted ahead of time the pieces that I needed. So the chemical injection chamber is what receives your items. So I'm going to stick that here. And then we're going to configure the sides to input on the right and output on the left automatically. And then we're going to be receiving our this stuff in the back. Yeah. So from there we're going to have a chemical infuser, an electrolytic separator set up, and then we're going to have a huge tower out back, and it's going to be, I'm going to surround it, kind of make it look like, have you seen those grain bins? Those grain factories get those huge grain bins. So what we're going to be making here, let me come over here, do thermal evaporation plant. There we go. So these are our thermal evaporation things. We're going to want 2 of these and 1 of these, and then like 2 or 3 stacks or more or 4 stacks of these. So like lots. I don't know if you noticed over here, I have recipes, and I'm totally going to use that for things that I normally craft a lot. So let me show you how to do that, because I'm going to do that for this one here. So this thermal evaporation block requires 4 steel and a copper ingot. So all you do is click on where you want it to be stored and then just click store. And now if I want to, let's say I want to make a machine frame, I just double click on that, or a mechanism version. This is the RF machine frame, this is the mechanism version. You just double click on it and then you can start crafting stuff. So I don't have to come into NEI or the JEI every time and do that. So let's make, I don't know, 4 of those. And let's see, can we make one of these? There we go. Okay, so that's going to require the advanced control circuit. So let's go grab, is it going to be one of those, is that right? So let's grab 4 of these, and 2 of these, and then, hey Log, come here bud. We'll just make you here. So that's all that is, okay, to make these advanced control circuits. You're taking the enriched alloy and the basic control circuit, and you're making it into an advanced control circuit. Yeah. Okay, so we'll come back over here and we'll make 2 of these. Oh, I need more of these. Let's make, I mean, we're gonna need, we are definitely gonna need a whole stack, so. That's on the last page, that's awesome. Okay, so we got 2 of those, and then we're gonna need 1 of these, and these are, how expensive are these? So 2 of these advanced control circuits, 5 more of these evaporation blocks, a bucket, and a pane of some sort. So I know how to make a bucket, but just for ease. And then we're gonna need another one of the advanced control circuits. Okay. I love having Logan around everywhere. It is so awesome. He's a great little helper. Alright, so what else did I need? Do I have everything? I think so. Oh, I needed two. Duh. Duh. Okay. There we go, just like that. And then, yeah, we'll craft it in here just because I've got it pulled up already. What am I missing? Man. Let's make a whole... Oh, we don't have a whole stack. So I need to make more steel. I've got tons of steel. But I don't know if I have four... Yeah, we'll just take them all. That's fine. Cool. That should be enough for a little bit anyway. Let's make that. Now, the other thing we're going to need to make is 4 of these. If I come into Mekanism, just do generators. We need to make 4 of these advanced solar generators. These go on top of it, and each of these take a single solar generator, or 4 of these single solar generators, which requires some effort. So, I'm probably going to put a lot of those patterns in here and just kind of make them. They don't stack, so I'm going to have to make one at a time. But, let me run outside. I think it's daytime. Yep, sweet. Oh, not for long. Sun is going down. Okay, so the idea then is to... I've got a pillar over here set up to how tall this thing is going to be, and I can increase my elevator to the 3rd floor. And the 3rd floor is just going to be right below... let's see, where do I want this? I think I want it exactly right where this is. Okay, so let's go... it's a 4x4, so it's going to be like this. And you can actually build this thing pretty tiny if you want, pretty small to start with. But since I have the resources, I'm just going to go big with it. Because why not? Do I want it there? Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah, I do want it here. Well, let's put these kind of on the sides, just like that. Perfect. And then, Log, you're kind of in the way, man. Oof. There you go. Alright, now let's make one more ring, and then we can do the rest of these rings with the builder's wand. Here. Builder's wand is awesome. Alright, we ran out already. So I'm going to have to make this all the way up there. One of these days I'm going to show you what this is, because I keep hitting that button and it but yes, so this is the block right below this, so right here is this floor over here, the 3rd floor. That's where the 3rd floor is going to be. So between the 2nd floor, which is right here, and the 3rd floor, which is right there, there's going to be quite a big space, and I want that because I think I'm going to house the reactor in the 2nd floor here once we get there. So yes, this is how tall this thing's going to be. We're going to need a lot of materials, and I may have to go farming for some more. I've got my digital miner working over there. The other day though, when I logged in today, there was these lions sitting over here, and I don't know how dangerous lions are in Minecraft. I know how dangerous they are in real life, especially when they're hungry. So I had to cut suddenly, but in the process, or in between those two, when you saw me last, I went ahead and built this the thermal evaporation plant all the way up to as tall as it can go. This should be 17 blocks tall here, and then on the 18th level, you can put your controller down, and then you're going to leave the corners open. Okay, and so that's where we're going to put the solar generators are going to be up there. So this is going to be what's going to process, or what's going to provide what we need to get 4 times ore processing today. So I'm going to get to work on crafting those huge solar panels, and I will be back when those are done. Alright, so my audio for this entire clip from now till the end of the video didn't record. So, I'm recording a narration, so I'm just going to kind of do like a play-by-play here. What I'm doing here is I'm showing you, kind of reminding you just how expensive these advanced solar generators are. They're supposed to be like kind of end-game mechanism, but this particular machine, the thermal evaporation plant, requires 4 of them. So they take quite a bit of materials. They're very expensive to make, which is why I did it off camera. So now we're going to run up there to the top of the plant here and put them down. Also, I had forgotten to show you this at the beginning when I made this, but that bottom level needs to be solid blocks all the way through. And then every successive level after that, all the way up to the top, is just a ring, except for the 18th level, which I'm looking at right now. And that you save the corners for these solar panels, these advanced solar panels. And those red things right there, those red little pixel effects or whatever, those show you that the multi-block structure was actually formed. And I'm changing the temperature now over to Kelvin, or to Fahrenheit. You see that 105? That's Fahrenheit. That's just showing how hot it gets. And the hotter it gets, the faster it converts water to brine. Now, brine is like a salty water solution. But basically what we're doing is we're taking water and we're turning it into this brine that we can do something with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the water system to the thermal evaporation plant. But that one pump that I have there is kind of already feeding my electrolytic separator. So I need to have a second one. That's kind of what I decided, is that I'm going to just go ahead and make a second pump, put in another block of water there, and those 2 pumps together connected to the same system should provide enough water not only for that electrolytic separator but for the thermal evaporation plant as well. So when the electrolytic separator is full, all of the 2 pumps will then be feeding water to the thermal evaporation plant. And if that ever gets full, then they'll kind of back up and just kind of stay in like a holding pattern until they, something is being used. So that's what I'm doing right now. Got to make the pump, got to make the bucket. Got to go grab a couple of these alloys here and make the pump. So all right. Then. So one thing to keep in mind with all of this stuff that's going on, I'm trying to do it like a specific way. I've got all of my processing machines in a line in order, like from like the ore processing. So like my goal is to have all the 5 times ore processing sit right next to all of my other machines so that it just goes right down the line. You don't always have to set it up like that. You can kind of set it up however you want. When I was teaching my dad how to do this not too long ago, over Christmas he was with me, and I was showing him Mekanism. He loves Minecraft. He's a great guy. So he's anyway, so he was learning how to do Mekanism, and we just kind of had stuff everywhere, all over the place. And we kind of it was fun because you put these machines together, and the logistics on how to get them to go from one machine to the next is really the fun part for me anyway, and I think it was for my dad as well. So all right, so now I've got this pump and the water down. Now it's time to connect the power to it. I did that, and also I don't know if you've noticed, my power conduits are green now. I went ahead and upgraded those. Basically what I did is I took the orange conduits that I had, the power conduits, and there's a recipe in the JEI there that if you put a couple of these other ingots next to them, they become these better ones. So these are the top tier energy conduits. That way I don't have to ever worry about, do I have more power demand than I have conduits that can handle it. So yeah, so now I'm connecting the water, and right here I'm showing you NRAO is kind of smart about its conduits. It doesn't connect, and it does that on purpose. So this is pumping water into that pipe right there, but it's not connecting because it doesn't want to automatically connect, which I really appreciate. Mekanism isn't quite that smart, and it's really frustrating. And I'll show you that here in a minute. So all you do is to take this Yeta wrench, and the Yeta wrench is made from 3 electrical steel and a basic gear, and a basic gear is just 4 sticks and 4 cobblestone, and the that electrical steel there is just that iron I just showed you, the coal dust, and silicone, which you get from sand. And all I did was there as I just right clicked on that conduit and turned it on so that it would connect. That's all I did. And now I'm just connecting the water to the solar evaporation plant. And again, I have to just right click that with the Yeta wrench and it connects everything. So now let's go up and check the system up here. I'll put my hover jetpack on hover, and you'll see that it's creating brine. So the water is automatically being converted over to brine, and it's just the thermal evaporation plant is getting hotter. Now, it only works during the daytime. So if you don't sleep at night, the temperature is going to drop quite a bit, maybe even all the way down to 0, and you're going to have to, when it becomes daytime, it's going to have to heat up again. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out the best way to configure. I was looking for my cheat sheet. I didn't have it up. I need to convert, just trying to figure out the logistics of everything here. So initially here I decided to go through the wall, and then excuse me, and then I was like, no, let's not go through the pillar, let's go around the pillar, and we'll go through the wall instead. But then later I changed my mind again. So I have to build everything in this game like 2 or 3 times before I feel like it's right. Like this whole floor, for example, I had to rebuild. This is my 3rd iteration of it, and this is I'm definitely happy with how the layout of this floor is now. So you see how that didn't connect right there? I put that conduit right next to it and it didn't connect. That's Ender IO being awesome. So I didn't put that electrolytic separator down correctly, so I had to pick it up, put it back down. You want it to go in the front. There's 3 like little squares on the side of the machine. So there's 1 square that's in the front and 1 square on the side. So the one on the front, that is the input. And since it got connected to that water, they put water in there, and I don't want water in there. I want brine in there. So what I have to do is I have to come into Mekanism here and create what's called a gauge dropper. And the gauge dropper lets you pull fluids out of a machine, a Mekanism machine, or any machine really, and get rid of it. You can just get rid of it. And it's really handy for situations like this where you have a fluid that accidentally goes in there, and you didn't want that fluid in there, and there's no really way to get it out. So it's sitting inside of the excuse me, the input tank. So all you do is you just create this dropper and you left click on here, and if you shift left click, it just takes away all of it, and then you hold that dropper out in the air and shift right click, and it gets rid of it. So what I have to do now is I have, if I right click on here, you'll see that I have nothing in where the brine is supposed to go, but later on you'll see here in just a second, you'll see that there is hydrogen and oxygen in the other 2. So brine's going in, but it's not doing anything, and that's really frustrating. So what you have to do is you have to break the block, and it resets it. So if you break it with a pickaxe, it resets it. If you use a wrench, that multi-tool that Mekanism has, that little wand looking thing that I have, if you put that in wrench mode and you right click on it, it saves everything. See how it's like hydrogen and oxygen here? I don't want that, so I'm just going to break it with my pickaxe, re-put it back down, and then it should start making sodium and chlorine. So I made sure to break that water block, that way it locks everything into sodium and chlorine. That's good. Now I can put that back down, turn that off so that it doesn't connect, and then re-hit it with the Yeta wrench, right click here, and poof, everything works great like it's supposed to. Ender IO is amazing. That's why I use the conduits, because they're so smart, and I can set them right next to another conduit and it doesn't connect. Now I'm not really happy with how this is all set up, and I decide to try again. Decide to go from front to back. When you set up like a lot of complicated machines like this, you can either start from the front and just kind of go from there, and just kind of, so let's say you start from the smelter, right? And next to the smelter, you're going to put the enrichment chamber. It's really easy to do. You know, it doesn't really matter if you get enrichment chamber first or the smelter first. But once you get like 4 or 5 machines deep, or even 10, 15 machines deep, it starts to get a little bit more complicated. How you're going to have, you know, you need machine 8 to coordinate with machine 4, and you need blah, 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 everything all over the place. Or you can go from the back forward. So what I decided to do here in just a minute is I decided to just stop and try again. So like I shut everything down and yeah, and just kind of reset it up so that it makes sense. So yeah, that's what I want to try to remember if I do that here in just a second or not. But yeah. So anyway, so what I'm trying to figure out now is I'm trying to do that back to front processing. So like I'm putting down the chemical injection chamber, and I'm like, okay, so I need hydrogen to go on this side. I need the output to go on this side. I need chlorine to go on this side, and so right now I'm just trying to figure out how to do that, right? And it's not making any sense. So I decided like just to stop here and just kind of reset everything. So yeah. So yeah, so I want right there I want the chlorine to go on this side. I want the hydrogen to go on the other side, and that middle there is where the hydrogen chloride is going to be. And then I need to figure out how to get that over to the machine that I need. Okay, so here's what I've come up with. I've decided that I didn't really like this setup. I decided that I needed to have the hydrogen chloride come into the top of that machine. I kind of wanted it to go in the back because that way everything was hidden and I could just hide it behind the wall. But the way Mekanism pipes are, they're not smart. They connect to each other, and if I put a pipe there, it's going to connect to the oxygen, and it's not going to be what I want. So I decided to just go on the top and not worry about it. So yeah, so the hydrogen chloride is going to go on the bottom of this one, and just like oxygen goes into the bottom of the other one. And so then we're going to put our ore in there, or in the right one. It's going to be turned into shards. Those shards get turned into clumps. The clumps get turned into dust. That dust gets turned into regular dust, and then back into ingots. So how I've got this set up is I've got it set up to where this chemical in electrolytic separator on the right here is taking water in. It's taking hydrogen it's putting out hydrogen on the left, oxygen on the right. That's the hydrogen or the oxygen on the right is for the ore tripling machine. And so what I decided to do here is just mirror the other side. I decided to put the electrolytic separator there. That way I don't need that there. So I took that off, and then I connected the brine in the front. That way there's on either side of the chemical infuser there is there's an electrolytic separator. One's bringing in hydrogen, the other one's bringing in chlorine. So yeah, so here that one's outputting oxygen and hydrogen, and inputting water. And I think I decided to show you here how to use the electrolytic separator because I haven't done that yet. Let's see if I do that right here. But anyway, yeah, water goes in there. Oh yeah, so those are both set to dump excess. I don't think I do. I'll wait till the other one, I think. Yeah. So I'm just talking about how like oxygen is on this side, hydrogen is on the other side. Hydrogen goes into that one, into the chemical infuser. Hydrogen's there, perfect. And we've got a little bit of hydrogen chloride, but it's not working. So I'm gonna check on this electrolytic separator, and here's where I explain how to use. See where it says idle there? Idle means that the machine is going to work until that particular side is full. So you have 3 options. You have dumping, which just gets rid of it. It just trashes it. Dumping excess, or idle. So dump excess just lets it run full time. Like it doesn't ever shut off the machine. Idle actually shuts off the machine and stops you from using power. So here I'm just troubleshooting why I'm not getting any water. So let's go check out the basic conduit here. the fluid conduit, make sure that that's doing input. Perfect. So now I should be getting some water in. So if I go up here and check, yep, sure enough, see where it says production is 9.8 millibuckets per tick, roughly 10 millibuckets per tick. And we're pretty close to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. That's very, 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 very hot. So then I just make sure that the tube is working. I think consider like upgrading it. And then I look at this and I see, okay, this is not set to output. So let's set that to extract without a redstone signal. Now I should have, if we go back up to the top here, I should have doubled my water input. So my production should be more closer to 20. Sure enough, it is 19.8 millibuckets per tick. So that's really good. That's what we want. And then, so we're going to come back down here and take a look at this. It's still not producing. So what we do is we grab, there's no brine going in there. But I grab my configurator, set it to gases, and then set this to pull. Now we've got the chlorine going out into there. So now we're making hydrogen chloride. Then I go to the front and set this to pull, and then we'll have hydrogen chloride going into our machine. And Bob's your uncle. So the hydrogen chloride is going into the machine here. And yeah, it's working. It's perfect. So remember to set the purple there, right there, the purple, to be whatever you want the input in. So I set that on the top, input on the left for the items, output for items on the right. Input on the right for the items, output on the left for items. Auto kick it out, and it just goes right down the line. And I tell this Enderman how I feel about him being in my base. Not too excited about it. Oh yeah, I was just gonna grab just a piece of iron here just to make sure that it works. And sure enough it does. I could just tell you ahead of time. Just toss it in there, all of it. Yep. So that's gonna turn it into shards. That's gonna turn it into 4 shards. And we gotta put our upgrades in there. So we gotta get our energy upgrades, we gotta get our speed upgrades, so that way everything's just kind of flowing properly. So the 4 shards, and then each of those 4 shards gets turned into a clump by the purification chamber. And then that clump gets crushed into dirty dust, and then the dirty dust gets turned into regular dust, and then the regular dust gets turned into an ingot. So we have 4 times ore processing. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and check the, make some conduit facades real quick, and check the video time here. So it cuts in just a second here. Alright, we're back, and I have everything how I want it set it up. It looks really nice. I just want to take we are actually at our time limit. So just showing you here that the wall looks really good, and I'm really happy with how that looks in there. It turned out pretty good. So we're gonna go up to the top floor here and just see what it looks like from the top. I really like having this elevator. It's pretty amazing. And I don't have my jetpack on, so I'm gonna pop that out of my bag here real quick and put that on my bag back, and then we're gonna fly over there in hover mode and just kind of see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think it's getting pretty hot. Yep, look at that, almost 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty toasty warm. I don't think my jetpack is putting out fire that's that hot. But yeah, so I did decide to go through the pillar after all. And it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It's all clean and proper and trimmed up. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little pillar around that off camera and make it so that it connects to the building, because the idea is that the edge of the building here is gonna have like a door that goes out so that I can just kind of look at the progress of the plants while they're up there. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing off camera. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the video. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.